Well, welcome to If Then Friday, volume 89, I think. There's more than that out there, but I got screwed up in the beginning with the numbering. And welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Kristina. This is where I read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy stuff going on here. So, November new releases. How many of these am I purchasing this month? Hmm? And please hit the like and subscribe. I always forget to ask. Please do that. And don't forget to check out Voyager today, too. So we have Lee Child's Exit Strategy, a Reacher novel. Have you been watching the Reacher on Amazon Prime? Now that guy is a much better reacher than Cruz was. Much better reacher. Physically anyway. Um First, a Baltimore coffee shop, a seat in the corner facing the door, black coffee, two refills, no messing around, a minor interruption from two of the customers, but nothing he can't deal with swiftly as he leaves. A young guy brushes against him in the doorway, instinctively reaches the pocket holding his cash and passport. There's no problem, nothing is missing. Second store to buy a coat, nothing fancy, something he can ditch when he heads to warmer climates. Large enough to fit a man the size of a bank vault. As he pulls out his cash, he finds something new in his pocket. A handwritten note, a plea for help. Third, whenever his bend in the road takes him, impressed by the guy's technique and intrigued by the message, Reacher makes it his mission to find out more. So what's up with that? Book 2, Murder at Donwell Abbey, Vanessa Kelly. Emma's spirits are elevated after she and her husband, George Knightley, host a holiday celebration at the Hartfield estate. But it's instantly a better January when her father makes an unexpected announcement. He and Miss Hetty Bates have decided to marry. Not only must Emma relinquish her role as mistress of the household, but also accept the reality that excitable Miss Bates will become her stepmother. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? More unwanted news arrives during an extravagant betrothal ball at Donwell Abbey, the grand Knightley estate where Emma and George will soon permanently reside. Nearly every villager in Highwell reveals in the dazzling affair, except Emma, hard-working lady's maid Prudence Parr. To Emma's horror, Prudence is found dead, sprawled across the stones of the library terrace. The woman's tragic fall is quickly ruled a terrible accident, and whispers circulate around her more personal troubles leading up to her untimely demise. But Emma's instincts tell her that something far more sinister is at play. Now Highbury's matchmaker turned sleuth vows to outwit cunning criminal before an innocent man loses his freedom, or Donwell Abbey plunges into a darker mystery. So what's up with that? A book that you will definitely be seeing. I need to start this series. I've been doing the Molly Murphy series and I've enjoyed that. But I haven't done the Spyness. We have to get going on that. As soon as they finish a couple other series, we'll get going on the Spyness series. Georgie May must from cradle to grave. Georgie must be figuring out what it means to be a new mother, but she doesn't know one thing for sure. She absolutely despises the strict nanny who was foisted upon her by her meddlesome sister-in-law. In search of a new nanny, Georgie travels to London to see her old friend Zuzu, only to find her about to depart for funeral, after the unexpected death of a young man in her social circle. It quickly becomes clear there's more than one mysterious death around town. When another friend reveals he's also just returned from the funeral of a school friend who seemingly died in a boating accident. But when word arrives that the son of a family friend has also died tragically and unexpectedly, Georgie is certain it can't be a coincidence, yet the victims don't seem to have any connection to one another. Zuzu shares her concerns with Georgie, suspicions that the deaths were not an accident, and begs Georgie to solve the mystery. As Georgie deals deeper, she can't help worrying about her own husband, Darcy, may be next. It seems likely there's a serial killer at work, and Darcy fits the bill to be the next victim. Will she be able to solve this case before her husband gets injured? We'll have to read the book. Book 4. Mercedes Lackey, the Cyprian. Elena Whitstone and her 7 brothers, abandoned by her mother, find themselves with a new stepmother. At first, she seems more neglectful than evil, until just after Christmas, she proves herself to be worse than evil. She's an actual musician, a master of water who also attempts to murder Elena's 7 brothers when they are skating. When they survive that attempt by transforming into swans, she drives them away. But the shock of having all of his heirs perish in a frozen pond is too much for Elena's father. He dies, and his widow is abruptly confronted with the inconvenient truth that the estate is entailed, and she not only must leave, she is lawfully in charge of Elena. Furious and possessing only what gifted to her during her marriage, the stepmother retreats to Bath to take up residence in the luxurious townhouse that was bought for her, and resume her former profession as a Cyprian, an exclusive courtesan, with Elena reluctantly posing as a page boy and servant. Nothing lasts forever, of course, and 3 years later, Elena is rapidly maturing too much to continue the ruse, and the stepmother is facing the ravages of time. The stepmother concocts a plan to establish a brothel and regain her wealth by selling Elena to the highest bidder. Not good! Not good! We just did this lady on Flashback Monday, not too long ago, and her book got 5 stars. One of the very, very few times that Romantic Times Book Review magazine gave out 5 stars. Anne Bishop, Turn of Fate. Most people come to Destiny Park for entertainment. They come to have their cards read to tell them a bit about their future. They come to walk through a beautiful park, and eat at the hotel's restaurant. They come in hope of catching a glimpse of Arcana, the the paranormal beings who rule the world of Wyrd. WYRD. But some people come to make a bargain with the Arcana to change their fate, and some people come for dark purposes. When Detective Beth Fahey is sent to Destiny Park to inquire about a ghost gun, she will begin a strange journey on which she must learn to navigate Arcana's unforgiving laws and dangerous attractions. Her search will draw her into seemingly impossible cases and the secrets of her own past as tensions rise between the Arcana and the human neighbors across the river. From the Isle of WYRD is a place where the dead ride trains to their final destinations. Predators literally prey, and seekers' true natures are revealed in the ripples of destiny, unknowingly stirred in their wake. A book you will also be seeing on this channel and have seen before, because this is one of my authors. She has shown up in quite a few If Thens. She has shown up in quite a few Flashback Mondays. She's shown up in the Forensic If Thens, Homicide If Thens, series and Partners. We're gonna do Partners soon on an If Then. Because technically, sort of, kind of, her and Booth. Well, on the TV show, it's her and Booth. In the book, it's her and Ryan, or Andrew Ryan, the detective. But you will see this probably January or February in my daily book reviews. I'm establishing a really large pile of books for under the Christmas tree. Probably about 10 different books, so you will see them in January, February for reviews, and this will be one of those books. Kathy writes, Evil Bones. Small creatures, a rat, a squirrel, have been turning up throughout Charlotte, North Carolina, mutilated and displayed in a bizarre manner. But one day, as Tempe is relaxing at home alongside her aimless, moody great-niece Ruthie, she's diverted by a disturbing call. The perp is upping the ante. This find could be human. Tempe visits the scene and discovers the victim is a dog, someone's pet. As one who has always found animal cruelty abhorrent, Tempe agrees to help apprehend the person responsible, and she acquires an equally outraged ally in semi-retired Detective Erskine Skinny Slidwell. Needing better understanding of possible motives, Tempe seeks input from a forensic psychologist. The doctor has no definitive answer but offers several possibilities, warning that the escalating pattern of aggression suggests even more McRae discoveries and a shift in the perp's focus to humans. And then it happens. A woman is found disfigured and poised in a manner that mimics the animal killings. Subsequently, Tempe cares about beginning to go missing until it becomes clear she is being taunted. The target in a game that has her and Sidwell racing against the clock and facing a terrifying question about evil. Where's Ryan? Where's Ryan? Where's Andrew? Where's Andrew in that book? Does he make an appearance? I guess we'll have to get the book to find out, won't we? Another lady that we have over here. Quite a few of her books. Let's see here. All of those are Miss Neal's. And she's starting a new series. Eternal Ember. Souls Burn Brightest Series, Book 1. For Fox is a thief with morals. She steals from those who can afford it and takes only a little at that. But she has no choice. Fox and her closest companion are indentured servants to an unscrupulous wealthy woman in a strong household. Unable to pay off their debts with the work they're given, they steal in hopes of one day being free, truly free. While searching for an easy mark, Fox identifies a would-be assassin with her rare magical ability and then helps a royal bodyguard fend off his vicious attack on the prince. Soon that good deed embroils her in a vast and shimmering world of imperial politics, long-lost magic, and improbable romance. But Fox longs for freedom and must decide if its love has a cage too. Alright, next book. One of our gal pals over here, she's all up there on the top shelf. Mary Janice Davison, Queen Betsy. Let's see, we've got a new series going on here. A lot of 20-something might look forward to inheriting the family business. Amara Morgan's got zero interest in hers. The mantle she stands to assume is currently won by her father, Death. Amara's childhood included helplessly watching as her best friend and favorite teacher were taken away. She knows her dad didn't do it on purpose, it was just their time. But Amara refuses to accept the job. It's bad enough that she can sense when the final moment will be for anybody she meets, including her best friend, Gray. He knows who she is and is cool with it. And though he's the funniest, kindest, most understanding guy she's ever met, she can't allow him to get any closer, however much she wants to, because his moment is coming all too soon. But why not enjoy the time that you have? But now her father is dying. Ominous potence she can't ignore pull Amara to Minot, North Dakota, where death is comatose, something that shouldn't be possible. Thank all the gods that Gray refuses to be left behind. Amora's mother's a mess, and Gray gives her something to cook for while the other death gods are gathering. It doesn't make a hill of beans of sense. Why is he giving her something to cook? And it says cook, too. I don't know. Alright. Dolly Parton! And it was supposed to be a share book, too, but that seems to have been pushed forward till March of next year, I think. I could be wrong, but there are some sites that say it's coming out in November, and some sites say it's not due out till March of 2026. And due to the lack of information on the November 2025 book, I'm assuming it's more likely going to be March of 2026. So we'll see what happens. But this is Dolly's book. Star of the show, My Life on Stage, featuring engaging stories and memories from Parton's dynamic life behind the microphone. This book spotlights her signature performances and star-making moments, from singing in front of her family to premiering on the Grand Ole Opry stage and beyond. Her formative years performing with country band Porter Wagoner are chronicling as she learns hard lessons from life on the road. Breaking out on her own at state fairs and critically acclaimed venues, she toured the world before performing for millions of fans in arenas, stadiums, and festivals. From making her on-screen debut in the blockbuster film 9 to 5 to playing the Dallas Cowboys 2023 Thanksgiving halftime show, and her interactions with Kenny Rogers and everybody else. Next book, The Devil in Oxford, a Ruby Vaughn mystery. Now I read this first one the other day, so check out the review for the first one. And I'm pretty sure it was only a 2-book series at that point, and I'm pretty sure I didn't read book 2. I just read the book 1. I had specific reasons, and I list them in the video. But you never know, I may decide to pick up book 2 at a certain point, but we'll see what happens. If you were to ask an American heiress, Ruby Vaughn, how exactly the cult came to play such a large role in her life, she would immediately point to the Octarian housemaid employer, Mr. Owen. Together, their pair run a rare bookshop in Exeter. Mr. Owen's penchant for arcane, unusual, and occasionally illegal books has been known to get Ruby in her fair share of trouble. Yeah! Like the dead guy. After last year, she is looking forward to spending a quiet holiday in Oxford while Mr. Owen attends the annual meeting of the Antiquarian Society. Secretly, Ruby is also looking for a holiday from her confounding feelings for Ryan. She met him in the first book, and I still don't like him. I don't trust him. Mr. Owen secures 2 tickets to an upcoming exhibit of artifacts amassed by disgraced scholar Julius Harker. Ruby reluctantly agrees to attend. The evening turns out to be more eventful than either of them bargained for. Harker's dead body is discovered amongst the collection. His business partner is hastily arrested, and ruin arrives, wanting to speak with Ruby. It seems both the arcane and her peller have followed her to Oxford, and the murder is suspicious. Alright, on the lighter side of things, Sally Goldblum, Gull and Bones, a knitter's book. We carried her in our Knitters If Then, so please go check that out. Longtime resident Agnes McPherson has a special birthday coming up. Her 100th. Known as the Old Man of the Sea Harbor residence, he's lived in town all his life and shared plentifully colorful tales of the sea. Back in town to fill a much-needed nursing position at the Free Clinic, Charlie Chambers, Izzy Perry's brother, is staying in one of the handful of cottages Angus owns. The yarn shop owner is thrilled he's in town, though she'd like to know more about his mysterious roommate, Annie Smith. Still, she's grateful that each morning Charlie checks Agnes' vitals and makes sure he's still taking his meds. Meanwhile, Izzy and the other seaside knitters are busy planning Agnes' birthday bash, knitting his beloved gulls into everything they make. With bands rehearsing the menu set, Agnes' celebration promises to be unforgettable. But the day before, when Charlie stops by Agnes' cottage, he finds the old man has died in his sleep. Aww. Or was it murder? Did he really die in his sleep? Or was it murder? Shocked and saddened, the town decides to go ahead with the festivities, but will now become a celebration of the old man's life. But when Agnes' closest friend, Father Northcott, is found on the floor of Angus's cottage, unconscious from a deadly blow to the head, Angus' death is examined more closely and soon suspected homicide. Did we not see that coming? All right, we've done all of the Alex Cross books. Well, actually, there's one more on my table over there I need to get to. But book 31, James Patterson, The Return of the Spider. That was like book 1, I think. Along came a spider who sat down beside her. The suspense classic Along Came a Spider introduced an unsurpassed rivalry. Detective Alex Cross, the superhuman hero, versus Gary Sanjay. But that wasn't their first meeting. Police discovered that Sanjay kept their murder book, profiles and homicidal geniuses detailing his transformation from substitute teacher to a hardened serial killer, including the clues that imply missteps that Alex Cross may have made a rookie homicide as detective. See what happens. We are into bookshops and libraries this month. It wasn't the original way I was going. I was going this other way over that way, and I have to get back to that way. But this way, I was like, oh, let's do this. I like that way. So they're coming along too. So I've got ideas for about 8 different if-thens. So, The Bookshop Below, Georgia Summers. In this exciting standalone from the #1 Sunday Times bestselling author City of Stardust, a disgraced bookseller is offered the chance to restore a magical bookshop to its former glory, and enters a dark world of unscrupulous collectors, deadly ink magic, and shady societies. If you want a story that will change your life, Clarion's Bookshop is where you go. For those lucky enough to grace its doors, it's a glimpse into a world of deadly bargains, powerful magic books. For Cassandra Fairfax, it's a reminder of everything she lost. When Sherian kicked her out and all but shuttered the shop, since she's used her skills in less ethical ways, trading stolen books and magical readings to wealthy playboys looking for power they can't buy. Then Sharon dies, and if Cassandra knows anything, it's the bookshop must always have an owner. To restore the shop, she'll need the help of Lowell Sharp, a rival bookseller who is everything Cassandra is not. See what happens there. Another book that we will be doing, The Burning Library, Gillian McMillan. On a frigid, windswept day in Scotland's Western Hebrides, Eleanor Britton's body is discovered on the shore. To her family, Eleanor was an ordinary middle-aged woman who made her flower arrangements and plumped kneeler cushions at church. Little did they know she was harboring a dark and all-consuming secret, a scrap of fraying embroidery that seems worthless at first glance. For more than a century, 2 rival organizations of women have gone to deadly lengths to secure the valuable artifact in hopes of finding the original medieval manuscript from which it was torn. The Order of St. Catherine, devoted to the belief that women must pull strings in the shadows to exercise control, and the Fellowship of Larks, determined to amass as many covert positions of powerful women as possible, as long as the methods of doing so never come to light. When Dr. Anya Brown garners international attention for her translation of the cryptic Folio 9. She is handpicked by Dana Cornish, a professor and high-ranking mentor of the Fellowship of Larks, to join the exclusive manuscript studies in St. Andrews. Meanwhile, at Scotland Yard, Detective Cleo Spicer begins an investigation into the death of Eleanor Burton. What do all these things have in common? We must find out by reading the book. Now, hold on a second. So, our final book. I have been complaining about this series for 3 years. I know better. I love J.D. Robb. And you should see her review in the next couple days. I've been holding on to this book. I may even hold on to it longer. But her alter ego, Nora, writes trilogies. And I know that she writes trilogies. So what you have to do is wait till all 3 books come out and then read them, binge read them back to back to back to back. So the characters and the information from the books is fresh in your mind, so you don't have to review and catch up each book. And I didn't do that this time. And I itched and bitched and complained the first book. And then I itched and bitched again the second book because I had made myself a promise that I was going to save the second book until the third book came out. And I just wanted to know what was going to happen. So I read the second book. And I was very, very frustrated that she didn't get the rings. She hasn't collected 2 books. 0 rings. The whole point of the series is to get the rings. And she hasn't collected any rings. She should at least have 1 or 2 in each book, but no, she doesn't get any rings. 0 in the first 2 books. Sees them, but doesn't get them. It isn't to the last book. In the last book, she's got to get all 7. And the last book comes out this month. So, the first guilty partner is Nora Roberts' The Inheritance. And this also has some time travel in it. So we considered this part of our time travel if-then. 1806, Astrid Granville is now Astrid Peel, beautifully in her bridal clothes and overwhelmed with love for her brand new husband. But before the marriage can be consummated, she is murdered and the circle of gold is torn from her finger. Her last words are a promise to Colin never to leave him. Present-day Sonia McTavish is stunned to learn that her father had a twin he never knew about, and her newly discovered uncle Colin Poole has left her almost everything he owned, including a majestic Victorian house on the Maine coast. The will stipulates she must live in it for 3 years. Having just dumped her cheating fiancé and left her job to start her own graphic design firm, she finds it the perfect opportunity to start fresh. She also wants to find out why the boys were separated at birth and why it was all kept quiet until a DNA match on a genealogy website was brought to light. Trey, the young lawyer who greets her at the sprawling clifftop manor, notes Sonia's unease and casually acknowledges that yes, the place is haunted, but just a little. Yeah, it's a little more haunted than a little. The house talks to her all day, plays certain music, makes the bed for her, takes out her clothing for the day, chooses what she's gonna wear. Sure, Sonia soon finds objects moved and music playing out of nowhere. She sees one of her father's paintings hanging inexplicably in her deceased uncle's office, as well as a portrait of a woman named Astrid, whom the lawyer refers to as the first lost bride. There have been more than one over the years, including Uncle Colin's wife, who died on her wedding day and left him isolated and grieving. Book 1. Book 2. The house Sonia inherited from her uncle she never knew cuts an imposing figure perched on its cliff. It is also haunted by a number of spirits, including the Hester Dodds, the witch who cursed the family more than 2 centuries ago, murdered its brides for the generation, and still wants revenge. Day by day, Sonia fears fades a bit, replaced by defiance. Now that she has Trey and the company of her cousin Owen and best friend Cleo, she wants to stay in this place overlooking Pools Bay, Maine. She also decides to make the house a real part of the community by throwing the doors open and inviting the villagers to dine and dance at a magnificent party. That is book 2. In the meantime, she does do some traveling. She does meet the other women, the other brides, along the way. Book 3. The 7 Rings. Long ago, Arthur Poole built a grand house overlooking the turbulent sea in Maine Village that bore his name. Today, Sonia McTavish lives in that house, a manor that has been cursed for generations. Within its walls, she has witnessed the death of 7 brides and the theft of 7 wedding rings. Now, to break the curse and banish a malevolent spirit once and for all, a difficult task must be completed. After Sonia, her boyfriend Trey, and their friends are forced to see, hear, and feel the suffering of the house many ghosts as their torment is reenacted by the evil presence, their bond only strengthens and their anger is renewed. Refusing to let her spirit be broken, Sonia searches each room for clues to her ancestors' hidden story. putting the picture together, unearthing small treasures, and uncovering the moments of joy that existed among the sorrow. She is determined to bring to light this haunted place, to fill it with people, life, and hope once again. But the enemy in the black dress continues to hover, to come at her in frightening forms. They may be illusions, but illusions can be powerful enough to wound and kill. She feeds on fear, and lies are her weapon. The dark-hearted witch wants to be the mistress of Pool Manor at any cost, and will take Sonya down at any cost. So, there you go. November's new releases. What'd you think? You think anything is interesting? You think I'll read any of those books? Hey, and if not, check out D. Louise book series If Then, and check out a category. Maybe you'll find something there too. Have a good day. And don't forget to subscribe and like, please. Thumbs up, please. Thank you.